What is up, everybody? Let's get into a quick recap of yesterday real fast. As far as the All-Star game went, split it right down the middle. 5 for 5 on my picks, which I will take that in an All-Star game. My lock of the day was under on Jokic, and he ended up going under on his points. Embiid, I said go over on his points or under on his PRA. He killed both. He got 50 PRA, and I think he had like 36 points. Ja did not have the game I thought he was going to have. He didn't get there with his points. LaMelo hit on his points and his PRA. Cat took a lot of threes, just didn't make them, but he got like 9 points or something. He got close. Devin Booker kept stealing all of Rudy Gobert's rebounds, so that's done. He definitely would have hit had he not gotten all of his rebounds stolen by Devin Booker. LeBron didn't get the assists he needed. And maybe the worst call in take my shot history, amongst Steph Curry's worst shooting season of his career, and amongst his All-Star game woes that he's had his entire career, I took his under. And he ended up slapping 16 three-pointers in the All-Star game. It was insane to watch. Worst call in take my shot history. Not much you can do about that. And Giannis hit his points as far as my All-Star game went. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, which is at just take my shot sports, I'll put it right here. Or right there, wherever works. I have been asked to post like my favorite lines from games throughout the day. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit. As far as college basketball goes and stuff like that, I'm going to post them to my Instagram story. I'll go over all the players that Underdog has up on their app and tell you guys if I like their over or under. And yesterday I posted Purdue lines, Washington State University lines, and USC lines. As far as Purdue went, I did really well with the Purdue picks. Jaden Ivey lived at the free throw line. He got his over. Mason Giles got exactly 5 rebounds, so either he pushed or he went under on him. Sasha pushed, he got exactly 3 assists, and Zach Edey went over his points. Javon Williams sold the bag hard. For a lot of people I know, scores 9 points in like the first 5 minutes of the game. Scores 11 at half, so he needs 1 bucket. And turned into Nikola Jokic in the second half, just passed the ball a bunch. The Washington State University games lines, I actually did really good with those. I said stay away from Flowers. He ended up having a better game, but you could never call with that guy because he was really inconsistent. But Tyrell Roberts hit his threes, and Noah Williams hit his points in the first half. So good stuff in the Washington State game, but it was very opposite for my USC lines. Evan Mobley ended up getting 4 assists. He went over, and I said go under. Chavez Godwin ended up having a really bad game, and Drew Pedersen ended up having his worst rebounding game of the year. So that's great when I told him to go over on rebounds. That's yesterday's recap. Let's get into today. Now, just real quick, I don't normally do this. I don't ask you guys to like my videos. I don't ask you guys to subscribe. I only ask you guys to comment if I need your opinion on something. We are only 20 subscribers away from 500, which is crazy. My goal, if you watch my thank you video, was to get 500 subs by April. That's a little over like 480 subs in 2 months was my goal. And we are about to smack that goal. It's about to be the end of February, and I'm almost to 500 subscribers. So I would really appreciate if you guys watch my videos all the time and you aren't subscribed, that you would think about subscribing. I'm so close to 500, and that's a big goal for me. So if you guys can do that, it would mean a lot. Thank you. Now, looking at EJ Liddell. This guy is a pure bucket getter from what I can tell from Ohio State. This guy, as a forward, he averages 32 minutes per game, 9.7 points per game. His current points line is set at 18.5. He's hit that 19-point mark 11 of 23 games. Now, a lot like I was looking at Race a little bit earlier. His last 7 games, his production has also increased massively. He's gone from 32 minutes per game to 35 minutes per game. He's gone from 19.7 points per game to 20 points per game. And taking a little bit more shots per game, taking from instead of 13 shots per game up to 14 shots per game now. In this little 7-game stretch for him. Now, they are playing Indiana. They lost their last game to Indiana by about 16 points in Indiana. So, this game is in Ohio State. Huge Big Ten matchup. These two teams are relatively close as far as standings go. I feel like EJ Liddell is going to have a monster game. My lock of the day is going to be EJ Liddell, the talented scoring forward from Ohio State. Like I said, his last matchup, he only had 11 points, 9 rebounds, shot 3 for 12 from the field. His worst shooting night of the entire season. He has not had a night where he struggled that much with his shot the entire season. Of course, it was at Indiana last time. It's a lot harder to play in a rowdy house like that. Now they are at home at Ohio State. He has been shooting incredible the last 7 games. He's been playing great in Big Ten play. I anticipate EJ Liddell to have a massive game tonight. His line is set at 18.5 points. Imagine he's going to have a huge game tonight for EJ Liddell. All right, first up on the slate from Underdog is Indiana versus Ohio State. Three lines they got out for the Indiana Hoosiers. They have Tracy Jackson Davis, Race Thompson, and Xavier Johnson. Looking at Tracy Jackson Davis, he is their number one guy. Pretty athletic pretty big forward for the Hoosiers. They have his line set at 17.5 points. Looking into his stats, he's averaging around 31.7 minutes per game, 18 points per game on the season, shooting from 57% from the field. Now I'm starting to see. The other day I was really impressed when a couple players were shooting over 50% from the field as primary scorers. But after doing a lot of stats, looking at a lot of stats and doing a lot of research with college players, it looks like quite a few players shoot over 50%. So maybe that's not as impressive as I thought it was. But Tracy Jackson shoots at about 58%, so that's a pretty good percentage for him. He has hit his 18-point line 12 out of 25 games. He also takes 12 shots a game and makes about 7 of those shots a game. So I love those lines from Tracy Jackson. Also in their last matchup versus Ohio State, he had 27 points. So I love going over on Tracy Jackson Davis's points, which is set at 17.5. Next up, we got Race Thompson. This one's interesting because he's averaging 28.4 points per game and 28.4 minutes per game and 11.7 points per game. He has only hit the 13-point mark he's needed to hit 11 of 25 games. Here's the thing, though. He's hit of those 11 times he's hit. He's done that in the last 6 straight games. Since January 26th, his production has gone up big time for some reason. He went from averaging 28 minutes per game to 30 minutes per game and went from averaging 11.7 points per game to 15 points per game. And 8 of those 10 games, he shot over 10 shots. 8 of the last 10 games, he shot over 10 shots. Prior to the last 10 games, he'd only taken 10 shots twice the entirety of the season. For whatever reason, Race Thompson's production has gone up big time. Now it makes sense why his line is set at 13, even though he only averages 11.7 points per game on the season. He's averaging 14.8 points per game in his last 6 games. I love Race Thompson's over simply because his production has gone way up for whatever reason within the last 6 games or so, and I like to see that. Now for Xavier Johnson. He is obviously, without watching Indiana Hoosiers basketball at all, I'm assuming he is their just veteran, experienced guard. Is just on the floor out there for experience and leadership because only gets about 26 minutes per game, averages about 10.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. So really doesn't put up anything crazy, too crazy. As far as his points line goes, because that's what they have him up with right now, it's set at 9.5, and he has only gotten that 10-point mark 11 of 25 games. And in their last matchup versus Ohio State, shot 1 for 7 from the field and only had 2 points. He shoots 37% from the field, which is really, really low for a guard. He takes a lot of shots, and he takes upwards to double-digit shots each game, but only like 2 or 3 games the entirety of the season has he even had like a good shooting night. So it looks like bad shooting nights are just his thing. So I'm going to love to go under on his 9.5 points for Xavier Johnson. And of course, right when I record this and say this, they did just add a couple more lines for the Indiana players. Tracy Jackson, they have him set at 7.5 rebounds. Just so you guys know, he does average 8.3 rebounds on the year. So that might be a big, take the over on at 7.5 rebounds. I like his points more, but you can't take the 7.5 on the rebounds. Other Ohio State line that I liked was Zed Key. I'm gonna go under on his 8.5 points. Really is not. He just what made me lead to this decision was the fact that he only gets about 20 minutes per game. So he doesn't really get the opportunity to get that many shots up, and he really doesn't take that many shots as it is. He goes in and it looks like he's primarily a big rebounder for them. Doesn't take too many shots, so I like the under on Zed Key's 8.5 points as my next Ohio State line. Up next, we got Georgia Tech versus Syracuse. Now, Michael DeVoe is their guy. Take my blanket off. I'm a little chilly, sorry. Michael DeVoe is their guy. 18.7 points per game, 34.8 minutes per game. So he plays a lot of minutes. He has scored over 18 points, he scored over 17 points 14 of 26 times on the season. He has grabbed 3.5 assists, or had 3.5 assists, 11 of 26 games, and he has gotten 4 rebounds in 14 of 26 games, but he's also pushed in 5 of those games. So he's actually gotten 19 out of 26 games. He's gotten that 4.0 rebounds. So even though this kid's a bucket getter, it gets a lot of floor time. I just have to go over on his 4.0 rebounds is my favorite line. He's hit it the most times out of any of his statistical categories this year. He's on the floor a lot, so it means he's going to get a lot of opportunities at rebounds. If you want to go over in his points, which is set at 17.5, go for it. But I think the best one to go for is that 4.0 rebounds. And one more Georgia Tech line is going to be Jordan USHER, under on his 1.5 threes. Now, he has only managed to hit 2 threes in 8 of 26 games, and he has not done it at all of late. Of late, he has kind of been struggling to shoot the ball a little bit, just like Josh Ivey was. Hasn't hit 2 threes in about a month, so he's kind of been struggling from deep. Hopefully he can continue to struggle from deep, and we can go under on Jordan USHER's 1.5 threes. All right, coming in hot are the Syracuse lines. First up, we've got Buddy Boehm. Don't know how to pronounce his name. If I butchered it, I'm sorry. He plays a whopping 37 minutes a game, nearly 38 minutes a game. That is wild. It means he only sits out for about 2.5 game time minutes, averaging 19.1 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists. Now, they've got his points line set at 19.5, which means they want him to drop a 20 bomb. How many 20 bombs has he dropped this year? 12 out of 26 games. Now, he has hit that 20-point line 12 times out of 26 games. He has also hit his 3.5 rebounds, so 4 rebounds, 15 of 26 times. I'm going to put it out there. 3.5 rebounds, he has hit the most of any of his statistical categories. But this man plays 38 minutes a game. They have him set at 20 points for a reason, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to fall for it. 19.5 points over for Buddy Boehm's 19.5 points. Let's get it. All right. I'm going to be quite honest, not a whole lot I liked from the Louisville lines. They only have 3 up, and I didn't really like any of them, so I'm going to go with Noah LOCKE. He averages 25 minutes per game, right around 9.7 points, 2.3 assists, or 2.3 rebounds and 0.8 assists. In their last matchup versus UNC, which went to overtime, so a little bit of buff stats, he did have only a couple points, but he shot 2 for 10 from the field, so he didn't shoot very well. He has hit his 10-point mark, because he set at 9.5, 16 out of 26 games, but really of late he has not come close. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to go under on Noah LOCKE for Louisville, because he just simply hasn't played well of late. Also in the last matchup did not get it. So if you want to go over, you can, because like I said, 16 out of 26 games he's gone over 10 points, but I'm going to go under because recently he has not played very well. Now the UNC lines, them boys are juicy. Let me tell you about a guy named Armando BACOT. Big man for UNC, averaging 30 minutes per game. Anytime a big man in college basketball can average 30 minutes per game, it's pretty good. He is averaging 16.1 points per game, 12.2 rebounds, and just over an assist a game. His rebound line is set at 12. He has only managed to grab 12 boards 10 out of 27 times. Let me tell you something, though. In their last matchup, which again, like I said, went to overtime, he had 22 rebounds and is a matchup nightmare for Louisville. So 22 rebounds is convincing to me enough to go over on 12.0 rebounds for Armando BACOT. Sounds like a man amongst boys out there. He also managed to grab 19 points in that game. He has gone over that 16.0 total 12 out of 27 games. He's pushed twice. Also, my bad. He's gone 10 of 27 for his over on 12.0 rebounds, but he's pushed 6 times. So he's actually gone about 16 for 27 on those rebounds because he has 6 pushes. So I love Armando BACOT over on his 12.0 rebounds. And our last line of the game, or last line of the day from the UNC game, Caleb Love, averaging about 32.8 minutes per game. So that's pretty good. A pretty good amount of solid court time. 15.3 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 3.7 assists. In their like I said, did go to overtime. He had 16 points. He needs 16 points. But he has hit that 16-point mark 15 out of 27 games this year. That's pretty solid for me. I'm going to go over on Caleb Love's 15.5 points. Leads us to your favorite part of the video, my top 5 picks to play with today. Coming in at number 1, it's going to be my lock of the day. Give me EJ Liddell over 18.5 points. Let's get it. Coming in at number 2 from the early game, it's going to be Race Thompson. His production has gone up tremendously in the last 6 or so games. I'm expecting the same thing to continue today. Go over on Race Thompson's 12.5 points. Coming in at number 3, my under is under on Jordan USHER's 1.5 threes. He's been shooting the ball really bad of late. We saw it yesterday with Jaden Ivey. He's been shooting the ball really bad of late. He couldn't hit his threes. I'm expecting the same thing today from Jordan USHER, under on his 1.5 threes. Coming in at number 4, give me Cole Swider, over on 6.5 rebounds. He's a rebounding machine. He's hit his over almost more than half his games this year. I'm going to go over on Cole Swider's rebounds. At number 5, coming from a 5, give me the big man Armando BACOT, over on 12.0 rebounds. Hopefully he doesn't push, because like I said, he's pushed almost just as much as he's hit. Last time, 22 rebounds. He sounds like a matchup nightmare for the Louisville Cardinals. Over on Armando BACOT's rebounds. That's going to be today's video, guys. Try to get it again here with these college player props. Obviously, there's some games I didn't get. There's some games up on Underdog that I didn't get still. But I got a pretty solid amount of picks here. I felt like that was good enough. I will post more stuff to Instagram if you guys want me to. Just let me know. Remember, we are so close to 500 subs, so if you guys could sub, that would be fantastic. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.